GI surgery, surgeries after surgery from morning till evening, and I was shocked that I am actually helping him with that, and it's amazing. This is something I cannot be able to express my satisfaction with words. Is something only.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Shamik from Omkar Medicom. We have our student Mustafa. Please introduce yourself, and like you have just graduated recently, so introduce yourself and how was your feelings is with a 6 year stay in China?
Hi, I'm Mustafa, and I recently graduated from a medical college in China, and my experience began with Omkar Medicom, and sir here has been in China for a long time, and he has been like a elder brother to us, especially to me whenever I needed help. He was always there, and it was a great and wonderful experience studying in China.
Okay, like you're a 2017 batch. I remember students like a 2017 batch, Mustafa. So Mustafa, like this year I've graduated in 2024, right? So this tell about like the span of time, the course duration, like it is how you break it up, like 5 years of studies, then 1 year of internship. If you can elaborate about it.
Sure. I still remember when I first got my admission in Windsor Medical University in China. A senior asked me, what's your plan after an MBBS? It's like, I have 5 years and I have 6 years, and here I am. I feel the time went by really fast, studying all the clinical subjects, non-clinical subjects, having fun in the university, knowing a different culture, their cuisine, exploring China. It was overall so beautiful. The other thing that most of us, what we had a difficulty in mind was the language learning. And eventually when we went there, the seniors gave assurance that, it's easy, and we all are doing it for years. Our seniors, juniors, and everyone. So it's not that difficult. There are classes regularly so that you can learn and you can communicate with the people around you, and it becomes very easy with time. The other problem that we had, not problem, is a question that if the classes will be in Chinese or English, and the classes were totally in English. The teachers, they know English. Most of our teachers, they even lived abroad for their masters, their Ph.D, they even have experiences. So they have a wider knowledge about communication and foreign students, and that's why they're given the job. Because we also had Chinese teachers, we also had Chinese teachers who came from foreign or with their foreign knowledge. So I saw the difference, I saw the communication. So teachers are there and they are very approachable, and the classes are at par with the contents of what you need to learn. So overall, it was amazing. The one thing that I must include was the science museum, or we used to call it the human body museum. I think these kind of museums are available in most of the universities across China. And amazing fact is, they have not only slides, they have organs. They're actually collected from people who have donated their organs, their body. And you can see varieties of things that I could not have imagined if otherwise I had not gone to China and studied there. So yes, it was really wonderful.
Okay. Like in 2017, you met us for your medical journey for MBBS. You pursued to go to China for MBBS. So there are other country options also. What made you choose China as an option for pursuing MBBS degree?
Well, that is a good question. Given I had numerous choices with countries, I could not obviously Google and know it. So the best chance I could was asking around. So I had few people from other countries and some from China. And not only that, even people within my family members, they who are involved in business, they were more enthusiastic to tell me or to suggest me that you must explore China first, because the medical knowledge was not known to us, especially being a student who has no foreign experience, no foreign exposure. So they're like, you must go to China because that is a country that will be a superpower in next few years, and you must see how they are developing, because if they are going to be a superpower everywhere in the news and in our thoughts, in our articles, that means they have something to that you must observe, that you must learn from. And then I asked students. The thing I did was randomly ask questions, searching universities on Facebook and Instagram. I came across, oh, this guy or that guy. So when I asked them, and they tried to explain as much they could. Even my university, before I go there, I actually looked up my seniors and I asked them, what are the things you study, what are the foods and availabilities, because people have really bizarre mindset about China and their food habits. But when I asked them, they're like, no, it's literally the same thing. We are vegetarian people, we don't eat non-veg. They told me, I am not non-veg. They're like, we don't have any issues, we cook. Even there are canteens. The canteens are very hygiene oriented, and it is run by the universities. And food options are very similar to India, as in vegetables, as in the other fruits. Rather, there are some more, and that we can give a chance to explore. So, yes. Sorry, what was the question?
So I understand, like why you choose China for.
Oh yeah, sorry. Should I start again?
Yeah, no, it's fine.
No.
Okay, so that's why I thought that is one country that I have studied and known about for a long time, since history and geography. Now, knowing about their medical education from the students who are already studying there or who have studied there already, I contacted them and I felt that is a country I must take and explore. And it was worth giving a chance. And now I can surely tell you that I don't regret it. I don't regret my option that I've made in 2017 with you. And thank you for suggesting me, because you gave me a lot of options, but you helped me narrow it down as well.
We are coming up with the similar questions, like how, as per your expectations, like your 6 years stay in China, did meet up the expectations which you had before traveling to China? Hopefully, what are your suggestions like? Did it meet up all your expectations, like what your thought process was previously?
I think the question, the answer would not define what I experienced in my last 6 years. It was more than I expected, more than I could have imagined, more than I could have thought or googled about. It was a very different experience. Living in China, the people, the food, the culture, not only that, daily experiences, especially shopping, people go crazy about. And people, and my mom was concerned about, they have this plastic rice, plastic eggs and all those, be careful. When I went there, I saw those people are the most health conscious that can ever be. They don't eat stale food. They don't eat if it's not fresh. The fish, the crabs, the shrimps, the potatoes, it's all fresh or they're not gonna buy it. So we are taking advantage of their consciousness, their awareness, and it is amazing. It is something that one must go and see. Even if they don't want to, they can go and take a look, and they see that it's a different country altogether. What we hear or what we see on media is something very different when you actually go there.
I do agree with this, because even if when you are going for the first time, and even if today when I talk with my students, I too pointed out on this fact, like you should go to a developed country. When you're going from India, you should go to a developed country, because today you have been 6 years in China, like you cannot differentiate the category what America, US is presently standing and China. Both are totally similar. Only in China you will get the cost of much lower, much lower compared to US, but the similar quality of education. Like, can you share a few like your experience in the while you're in your 6 years of study? Share some experience. Like, first of all, many countries believe for like subjects like anatomy. Some countries believe a cadaver is not required. In China, in India, in Bangladesh, in Sri Lanka, which have the system, especially in India and China, there is a system in the anatomy that there should be a dissection in cadaver. How important do you think as a medical student? Me, myself, I'm a doctor. I personally feel that a cadaver is very important for medical studies. So what is your view on it? How important is in the first year getting a cadaver in your anatomy class? How helpful is it that it enhances your studies when you go to your 4th or 5th year for studying medicine and surgery?
After 5 years and 1 year experience of internship, I can certainly say anatomy is something one must know. Anything you do but you don't have a knowledge about anatomy, it is nearly impossible to. It's the basics of whole medicine. If you don't know where the muscle is, if you don't know where the nerve is, if you don't know where the vessels are, I mean, knowing medicine is just a part that will tell you where it will affect. But if you don't know how the things are connected, then one student finds it very complicated to get a whole picture. And during our anatomy classes, we had a very elaborate class. We had 2 semesters of anatomy, and even after that, later on in 4th year, we had another anatomy class.
Clinical anatomy.
And that is a different experience that I did not know that, oh, this also exists. So we initially started with the theoretical classes, then we were taken to practical classes, and then we were made into groups. The one good thing about China is that people are so willing to help their country progress, and they donate dead bodies of their relatives or their close ones to these medical institutes, and we are told to respect. We are made into small groups, and we are told that, okay, today this part we will be dissecting, and this continued for weeks. We in 1 week we only dissected legs, another week only dissected chest, another week only dissected head, and this way, when the entire thing is done, then we got to know that this will be submitted to their family members for the final ritual. And that is how interconnected this whole system is. And I'm lucky because when I asked my friends in India that, did you get to do cadaver dissection? They're like, we had but one cadaver and there are like 20 or 30 students. Probably had no chance. We only had to see, but we did it with our hands. We held a scalpel, we wore the gloves, and teachers were there. And they explained all the nerves, the muscles and everything. So this was an amazing experience. Not only that, I also mentioned about the Human Science Museum that has body parts of the human body in all format, whether sagittal, whether transverse section, it was all there. And all forms, the baby of 3 months old, the baby of 6 months old, the baby of 8 months old, and they're all fetus that either got either born out of a miscarriage or they died, and they are conserved for students to see the development of fetus, the development of fetal growth, and human anomalies, whether it is related to lungs or whether related to heart, whether it is related to liver. So wholesome experience gave us a wider horizon of imagination and learning, and to integrate it with our classes.
So I also feel the same, like cadaver is a must. Unless you dissect on a cadaver, how you get to see, then if you can't dissect on a dead body, you cannot dissect on a living body.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Likewise, like what I get to hear from many of my students, like when you have a class like a physiology class, you get to see in the first day the teacher puts up a PowerPoint presentation of the topic and what topics will be taught. It is given previously, and the teacher mentions his personal email ID so that the student can contact him. So regarding this, what are your views around the all 6 years of course?
In that case, I have come across so many teachers, and I found that the teachers are very amicable. They are approachable. They share their personal, in China they have WeChat, so they share their WeChat, that you can ask me questions anytime, and here is my email ID, and I am in this department of this hospital, so come, and if you feel free, if you are free, then come and I will show you around. That much of amicability is there. Even when I was in second year or third year, even when already I was in fourth year, the teacher asked me, you can come and observe how surgery is done. I thought they will not allow, but they allowed. They allowed us to enter, to scrub, wear the scrub, wash hands, all the 7 steps. If you know that they always have a 7 tips. They taught us.
It's a very important thing.
Very important thing, and they gave us that experience firsthand in a way that they always like teaching. Not that we are a liability or we are something that they are bothered about. They're like, oh, you have come, it's fine, you just do this, do that. If you have any question, ask me. So that amicability and communication build up really helps a lot for students to gain interest, to learn more, and to feel that, the teaching is not very different. If there is no enthusiasm from the teacher's side, the students really don't feel interested. And we never felt that. So firsthand, I would say that it was a wonderful experience. And anybody, whoever is listening, they can even take a try and they will not regret it.
That's true. Because I personally feel like a student teacher should have mutually a very good relationship, so that the teacher is very easily approachable for any student. Because unless the student clear their doubts, they cannot move forward with their knowledge.
If you are thinking about quality MBBS admission abroad, then contact only Omkar Medicom, serving the society for 14 years.
As we know, like the 5 years of medical studies, it is generally divided with like first 2 years of non-clinical subjects, then the third 3 years of clinical subjects. So my question is like, you had the experience like in India, you have heard about how you will get a good exposure, or from any elder brothers or anyone, like how the clinical study is all about in India. After reaching China, how about your clinical exposure in China from the third year?
The clinical exposure in China is indeed very good. All the medical colleges are associated with not only one hospital, they have a numerous number of hospitals. In just one city, we had 5 hospitals associated with our college. Later, I got to know that there are 3 more hospitals in a distant far city. And these hospitals, they allow the students to do not only clinical direct exposure of what you are learning. While doing clinical subjects, we also had hospital clinical observership classes. So we would be taken to the hospital and we would be exposed to the patients who are having symptoms, who just got admitted and they have maybe cirrhosis. So teacher would show that these are the signs, these are what you see. While we are not in internship, but we get those exposure. Even for radiological experiences, we had access to the radiological departments. And surgery is obviously, I don't know if I can explain how satisfied I am with the surgical exposure in my hospital. Similarly, I asked my other friends in their hospital. Everybody has similar amazing experiences. The teachers, they just don't let you see, they let you suture. If they find you that you are good enough, they even let you use the instrument to, the harmonics.
Yeah.
I have used the harmonics.
That's correct. That's really great.
In GI surgery.
That's
and I never imagined that I would be using that someday, but teacher felt confident. There were some days, I'm not lying, there were some days where there were not, especially during the COVID time, there were not enough assistants, but there were surgeries. The doctor was there, and I was his only assistant, helping him out with GI surgery, surgeries after surgery from morning till evening. And I was shocked that I am actually helping him with that. And it's amazing. This is something I cannot be able to express my satisfaction with words. It's something only one can gain with their experience while being in China, while being as a student or an intern in those hospitals.
Hearing you, I cannot feel if you are a MD student, you have passed your post graduation, or you're an MBBS student. So what do you feel? You have just completed a bachelor's degree, MBBS degree, and you're talking about you have done the sutures, and it's really something like if you go back to your family and just work over here in India also, you express this thing to anyone, everyone will be surprised to hear such kind of clinical exposure you're getting. It's really remarkable. Like in China, there are more advanced techniques like robotic surgery, Da Vinci surgery, which have been used. Like similarly, you have, as you have talked about radiology, you have heard about PET-CT. This is very much advanced technique presently in India, and you have been seeing it in China from, it's like a normal X-ray. So what are your parts if you're comparing like the medical system, the techniques? Because in today's world, everything totally depends on the medical techniques. So, and the instruments basically. So regarding instruments and technique, how advanced is China? What do you feel?
Well, regarding the advancement of technology, I think pretty much people have an idea how advanced they are technologically. I would not try to explain much, but I would just share one experience. I was in urology department, and my teacher was using a device to break the stones from the kidney. So they have this device, and I asked my teacher, so if this device, how, is it available everywhere? He's like, no, this device is actually available in one form, but we have told the manufacturer to do alterations. That alteration is they can push water after they break the stones, which is not available in anywhere in the world. They say that usually after breaking the stones, the patient is asked to drink water so that it goes away.
Yeah.
But we don't wait for that. We break the stones, we push the water, and we clean it then and there. So we don't leave any other chances for the patient to even experience if any kind of abnormalities or any kind of discomfort occurs. So that kind of advancement is there for only one device. I think anybody can imagine the other devices and the advancement can be.
True. It's a very true thing. Like basically China, one looks out, it's very developed. It's many people know it's developed only in the electrical field, but in the medical field also it's very, very advanced, as we were talking about. Like you have talked about in the previously, like studying Chinese. Like presently Chinese is one of the world's largest spoken language. Many countries have put up importance that if you know Chinese, you get a better job. In the US, if you go for any kind of job, they put up a specification, you are fluent in Chinese or Spanish, you get a better preference. So from the very first day of learning, how was the journey? Like from the basic, when you start ni hao, from today, how much Chinese you know? So how was the journey? Was it a difficult task? Was it's boring one? How was it? How you feel so?
I think people who will be watching, they will have a presumption that it is a very difficult language. That's what I had in 2017 before I visit China. When I went there, I saw my seniors, they're speaking fluently in Chinese. And I was surprised. I thought it was something very difficult, that something it takes a lot of time. But it's not true. When they set up classes for you every day, very small classes, every day is a slow learning process, and with time you actually start to speak the language. Even in China, people they themselves find Chinese language difficult. But what we need to know to communicate is easy. And it doesn't take much time, it doesn't take much effort. And there are probably 10,000 letters and words as we hear or come across. Even Chinese people don't know that.
No one have to be a scholar.
You don't have to be a scholar.
Yeah.
What we need to know is very easy, and people can easily, students especially, they learn it with time. They learn it with classes. They learn it with communicating with the locals, with the Chinese students. We have all those facilities and privileges there in all the universities, and that is the best thing. So as much as the fear is, I think the bright side is knowing a new language is always a add-on.
Yeah, it's always an add-on, and it's always a boom because when you know one of the largest spoken language in the world.
Quality education, endless opportunities. Your study abroad future begins with Omkar Medicom. Don't be late. Apply now to get scholarships.
In China, mostly hostels are inside the university campus. This is something which you rarely see anywhere outside China. So what do you feel? Hostels inside the campus, in your initial days when you are traveling, like when you traveled on 2017, so hostel inside the campus, how important it is for any student?
Hostel inside the campus is, I know my other friends who are studying in India, and for them, getting a hostel is more challenging than studying medicine. So, but for us, we are given hostels, and the hostels itself is a system. It's confined by boundaries. Not only us, there are also Chinese students, and the Chinese students they live. And not on when I went there, actually I found the Chinese dormitories to be of fixed height and fixed stories. They're 6, and they don't have elevator. For
Not this
us,
kind of facilities. Yeah.
Yes, they don't have. But in our international hostels,
Only for international students.
only for international students, we have a separate accommodation, like a sharing room, and some universities they even offer a single room as per the student's need, and we are given the facilities of using an elevator. The feel of feeling secure is something that is really nice. And in China, that one thing, security, I think I can't compare.
You cannot compare.
I have not seen any police or any security being armed. They are all unarmed, and I don't know if I'll be able to see another such security system.
Anywhere around the world, you
Anywhere
can't
around
see
the
it
world.
because most cities in China are presently crime free.
Yes. So hostel experience is really wonderful, especially Chinese students and international students living in one system, in one boundary. We get to even communicate with each other. We get to even meet each other. So that expands our communication level. Because learning a language is not only defined by the textbooks, but it's also defined by the practice of it, the integration of language with communication, in the field, how you communicate. And that's how we got to know a lot of new words. It's just like reading textbook and then doing the practicals. You find so many differences, and then you learn how to make a balance with it. And we have canteens in our hostel areas. Those canteens are run by the school itself. They are hygiene maintained. We have seen teams coming and checking if there are like cockroaches. If there are cockroaches, they would shut it down. They would run a whole cleaning system, and they would make sure that students are given a food that is maintained with hygiene, and prices are even lower. in the students' canteen, and we have a card system. We can use it, and we can eat, and it's very convenient as well. So having a hostel accommodation is really important because it relieves a lot of tension. It takes away all the worries of finding a new place to stay, and there are other problems that comes along, when you move out of the university area.
Campus, yeah.
So yes, I liked my hostel very much.
Because hostel, canteens, everything inside the campus always ensure that when you're staying inside the campus, the university holds responsible for staying. If you're staying outside in an apartment, you belong to nowhere.
Yes.
You become like a public person over there. And I also feel another advantage is when you all students stay together, the study environment is always, I think, better compared to staying outside with some localites. And one more thing, how about the rooms? Are the rooms spacious, the hostel rooms?
Yes, the rooms are quite spacious. We had I was in a 2-bedroom room with 2 tables, 2 wardrobes, 1 fridge was given. Balcony is must for all the rooms. So, and we had a common kitchen. And it was a bit difficult to think that how would I cook, but eventually I found that we all manage our time. Not everyone cooks. Only few students they cook, and mostly who are vegetarian. And some students maybe on weekends they would just cook for fun, and it's actually nice. When you meet people in the kitchen and you talk. We also had a washing machine and a dryer.
Laundry room.
The laundry room.
In the floor.
So one end would have the laundry room, one end would be the kitchen, and then in between the corridors you have all the rooms.
Dormitories, yeah.
And it's quite amazing. Living there, meeting people, you don't feel alone. Somebody is talking and you know that people are there. You just can go out and join a conversation if you want. If you don't want, you can be in your room. Nobody disturbs you. And so it was a wonderful experience. My room was nice, and all the rooms are quite spacious for 2 students. And overall,
Attached washroom also.
oh yes, attached washroom. That for must. We all have an attached washroom.
Other places it's not a must.
Attached washroom.
So it's a must. I can see in your eyes that you are missing your dormitory still now.
You're putting me in nostalgia, asking me all these questions.
True. And how, like you mentioned that you had Chinese friends to communicate. How were the localites with the foreign students?
They were really nice. I mean, I don't know if people will really compare this conversation when they actually experience it. Approaching Chinese people is so easy. They're so nice, as in behavior. They don't show you that they're irritated. They don't show you that arrogance. They don't show that they're disturbed. If they're disturbed, they would even tell that in a way that you feel like, it's fine. Like you feel bad that you have asked that person, not because he or she is showing the irritation, because they say like, I'm so sorry, I have to really go, I'm caught up. So, and you go to the next person, you go to the other person. They all are approachable. You know a bit of how to communicate. If not, there is translator, which we have used a lot in first 2 years.
Lots.
A lot, and it has never posed any problem. Like using translator, communicating. They know that students, they're coming foreign students. That's how they are. Most of the restaurants they have pictures, so you don't have to even say the name of the food. You just show that I want that. You can and people who might be having a bit of problem like China only pork only and if there are like religious beliefs, it's all there. If you don't want to,
Halal canteens also.
Halal canteens are there. There are halal restaurants almost every corner in the city. Like
Yes.
I was even surprised that China would have that, but it's there. If you don't want to have meat, it's there. So it's just eggs and eggs and rice, fried rice, there are dumplings, and all the options are there. So China also has a lot of Buddhist followers. In many cities, they have Buddhist restaurants who only make veg food, and we also had one such. For students, they even would give you a special discount. So overall, it's a wonderful experience communicating with the people, how people are, and how their culture is, and it's nice. One must experience that.
Great to hear you, because I'm staying in China for last 17 years. Like, you have this experience for 6 years. Because mostly I also, when I talk with the students, I also explain that staying in China, Chinese people are very much friendly. Because of the media hype in India or any other countries, they misjudge the thing very much. But basically, Chinese people are very, very friendly, as you have also talked about. I have seen many Chinese people just get very much intermingled with the culture, also celebrating the festivals. What the Indian festivals are being celebrated. In Indian festivals, the Eid is celebrated, Diwali is celebrated, Holi is celebrated. What are your experiences? Like, you have been in a long time, so what are your experiences regarding that? That also will put you in some nostalgic moments with your friends, I do understand.
Yes, in our college we obviously had Diwali celebration, Eid celebration together, and we would call our Chinese friends, and they loved the idea of celebrating festival of other culture. And Christmas, being China, we know it as a communist country where almost like no one has or follows any religion. Christmas is so widely celebrated, and you see the entire city, they decorate it as per Christmas. Sorry. And not only that, even during the Chinese celebrations or Chinese festivals, they invite us. I have been to Chinese friends' home. The mom and dad would cook for me, and has been quite a few occurrences, not only once. And I even was invited to attend my friend's marriage ceremony.
Oh, that's great.
So, it has been a wonderful experience, experiencing their culture and giving them an experience of our culture. And overall, it is a lively experience that one gets while being in China.
True, it's a mutual respect for each other. A few more things like scholarship facility in China and the tuition fees. The first year's tuition fees and the final year tuition fees, regarding that, like, it remains the same. And the scholarship facilities, what are your thoughts on that? You are a part of it.
Oh yes, yes, I have been a scholarship winner quite a few times, and it is obviously a wonderful experience, because it was the first time for me to get a scholarship of that amount. It's 20,000 yuan. That's a huge amount for any student to get.
It's more than 2 lakh rupees in India.
Oh yes, more than 2 lakh
2 lakh rupees in India.
2.5 lakh.
2.5 lakh rupees.
And I got that for many years, and I could suffice my expenses with that. If I want to explore China, I use that amount of money. So I never had to worry about asking from home to give me money, and so on that I had a bit of financial freedom, which I really loved it. Secondly, regarding the tuition fee, it has always been the same. It's just our hostel fee also never changed. Our tuition fee also never changed. First year and last year, I don't remember. I don't recall fees being changed. It's been pretty much the same, which is surprising, but yeah, I mean.
Okay, ending the video. Like 2017, we were guiding you. Omkar Medicom was guiding you for going to China for doing MBBS. I personally traveled with you. So what are your experience regarding Omkar Medicom, the application process, Mr. Bhaumek with the application process, then traveling with me to Wenzhou and staying and other things? What are your experience on that?
It has been a really soothing journey in a way, because I have been a victim of approaching wrong agency, and that's how I ended up here. And I obviously thank my uncle who brought me here. Otherwise, I was totally lost. And I actually got to know that I don't have to do anything after I submit my documents. which I was actually doing all the steps, and I killed my time, I wasted. So anyways, that was an experience for me. So this journey has been possible because of all the people around me, for you and for Shobhashir uncle, obviously. He handled everything while being in India. You were here to take me on the flight, and then after we went there and you took me to my hostel. After I got settled, you took me to my canteen and showed everything around. And you know, that kind of experience, I don't think that would have been possible if you weren't that considerate about seeing us not only as students but as a brother, or as a sister. So thank you. I mean, it was a wonderful experience, and I'm still in touch.
Surely, like as we promised, like it's not about admission. Or on the 6 years or 5 years of stay in China, I personally take care of the students and meet the students. So really, it feels very great to hear it. And also, I still remember the first day when you were traveling to the university in your hostel rooms with the faces like we are in a new place. So it's good. So to my last questions is like, what are your opinions of any improvement which you asked to all our students that Omkar Medicom should have, any place of improvement?
That is a very certain question. I think I'll have to go deep down and think what can be there, because I've not really quite felt. I think you have done your part quite well. What you could do, and you're trying to be there for students whenever they need help, call up, and it's pretty much. I mean, if there is anything else, I haven't felt. If somebody else has, they might tell you. For now, I don't have any. So, no complaints.
And surely we'll be in touch with you. It's not over yet. It's you'll go for your jobs and everything. We'll be guiding with you. And you'll always be in contact. Okay? Thank you.
Oh.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We upload new videos every week. Please subscribe, like, and share. We'll see you again next week.